Welcome to Elvis Batchild Television. Now accepting bone donors. Check your local listings.
Welcome to Elvis Batchild's first podcast.
Our first live stream
First
podcast.
live stream. First of...
Who knows how many?
Maybe three of
First
them.
of however long we're relevant for.
Pretty pessimistic, Brad.
Cast pod.
I was going for
I
more
think we're
like,
going to start the over-under at 3.
Oh,
Oh, we're already talking sports, huh?
Well, I like that Brad's already talking. Our last podcast, Brad only said about as much as he's already said so far. So we're off to a good start.
Brad. Yeah, so our first podcast ever was on Raised on Rhythm. So big shout out to Nate
Hell yeah.
Lewis of Raised on Rhythm. If you haven't heard of his podcast, check it out. He does all Seattle music stuff, and he had us on a podcast, and we said, well, let's keep doing it.
I want to see how many times we can say the word podcast during this podcast. Because I feel like this podcast could really use a lot more, I can't even think of the word because I'm on a podcast. I'm nervous because I'm on a podcast. We got to pound to drill that in. We got to make sure that people are aware of what we're talking about.
Looks like Will has a notebook.
I do have
Will's
a
got a
notebook.
notebook.
So I'm the proctor. This is Elvis Batchild.
What is a proctor?
What's a proctor?
Proctor instigates and, starts the conversation. We don't really involve ourselves with this assumed band, but I am in the band, but I'm taking the chance to be the proctor. I don't have very many important points, but I will leave the discussion up to the boys.
You sure you're not a proctologist?
No.
Okay,
Does everybody know what a proctologist is?
ass doctor.
It's an ass doctor.
Ass doctor.
Oh, I need an ass doctor.
Yeah. We'll leave that for the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll let people get warmed up first before we go straight to the butt stuff.
If any of you know what a good asshole looks like,
I don't think. All right, give us the news. Give us the music news.
So we got some music news here. There was a Florida guitarist by the name of Prince Midnight that claimed he made a skeleton guitar out of his uncle's bones. Uncle Philip.
I saw that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So the question is, the members of the band that like strings and things, would you play a guitar made of human bones?
That's a good question.
I mean, I already have a Fender Jazz bass, so no.
Are you just flexing on all of us? Right
Yeah.
now? You're just saying,
I will also. You want to talk about the word podcast? I want to see how many times I can mention I have a Fender
Jazz
American-made J bass.
Great. Thank you for your input, Kit. We really appreciate that. I personally would absolutely play a guitar made out of human bones.
What?
I have no qualms with this. This is, as long as I think it would have to be. I think there would have to be consent first. I think maybe the person whose bones they are would need to, while they are still alive and
It's
kicking.
like an organ donor.
Like an organ that needs to be on. It needs to be listed on their ID card.
Okay, cool.
That they want their bones turned into, just like in the footnotes of the ID of their Florida. Their ID should say Florida man, just not even their actual name,
Yeah.
and then in the footnotes just like a little asterisk, and then human bone guitar donor.
But if
and
you
then
had Florida Man on your ID, I think that means you could do anything.
just about anything
with the body.
just about anything.
Like an ID with Florida Man, or is it just a Florida ID?
You said this guy's from Florida, right?
Yeah, well, he is a Florida man. It's pretty simple. I'm looking for questions. I type in Florida man, but
That makes sense.
Would Florida man be his name, or would it be a Florida ID?
I think it'd be more like a title. It'd be like a suffix,
Like
or a
McLovin,
prefix,
Yeah.
or
just kind of
something.
one thing.
Yeah, like Florida man, and then Mr. Edward Jones or whatever. But
yeah, that is the worst fake ID of Florida man. But let's talk to the guitar players. What do you think?
yeah, string players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you get some good tones out of it,
Good
depends
bones.
on
Tones from the bones.
depends on whose bones it was.
Yeah, it probably depends on the density of the
the
bones.
soulfulness of the bones.
So whose bones would you like as your guitar?
A frail,
what's
young,
a solid
vegan man.
bone that you would like to play as your guitar?
The femur, is that a bone?
No, but I mean all
Yeah,
well, no, but yes, of
The
course,
femur
the
would be
femur
like the
is
neck,
pretty solid.
right?
But what body of bones would you like to have as your part
Eddie
of-
Van Halen. I'm sure his
Okay.
bones would
No, I think
rip.
those bones are pretty brittle.
Yeah.
Sorry, but they're
I feel
pretty.
like the only artist who would ever consent to this would be like Gigi Allen or something.
Oh,
Like,
so they'd be shit bones,
they'd have poop
shit
on
and
them.
blood bones. Okay,
What?
cool. Well, Gigi Allen,
to GG.
We're already at shit bones,
Yeah, we're already
so I
talking
think
about-
we
Well, I
need
mean,
to.
G.G. Allen had shit bones.
I don't
He
know
had
who
shit
is-
in
I
his
don't-
bones.
You don't know who G.G.
I
Allen's
don't
G.G.
either.
Allen?
Oh,
For the listeners,
he's
can
a-
somebody enlighten us?
I mean, I let the,
For our one
the
listener.
brethren speak upon
GG
this.
Allen was like basically just an insane guy in like the late 80s, early 90s who did like
punk art. Yeah.
yeah,
Shock,
punk,
kind of shock
yeah,
rock.
What
Shock
band was he
rock.
in?
Literally, no, it's
G.G.
just called
Allen.
G.G. Allen and the Murder Junkies, I think.
Yeah, so
And
he used
would
to like
literally
cut
just,
himself on
poop,
cage.
throw poop at people and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
It's pretty hard.
I think his only known song is "Bite It, You Scum."
Yeah,
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 bite it, you scum.
but
Sweet.
Would you bite it, the scum?
I'm inspired.
Great.
All right, what's the next
Great
question?
proctoring,
I feel
Will.
like
Okay.
we've pretty much reached the end of this topic.
So I only have 4 questions.
Perfect. We've got
my time limit. So the next topic is serial killers and music.
Okay.
It's a tough one, but it is like, can we identify good music amongst serial killers? I
Wow.
think Kit can answer this question very well.
Wow, you're really
What-
throwing us into the deep end here, Will. Thank
like
you.
Charlie Manson's music's not bad, right?
I
Or
haven't
is it
listened-
good?
Oh fuck!
Is it-
Nobody.
I mean, like the Beatles, they
All our,
passed him up. But
all our
it's time.
lawyers are going, no.
I don't have any lawyers, Brad.
So he has this one song, and it's called "Home Is Where You're Happy." And I didn't know who sung it, and I didn't know who did this song. But I lived on this farm for a little bit, and this guy named Nevin, who was.
on a farm,
Well,
just
you
like
lived on
Charlie.
a farm, just like Charles Manson. Yeah, I understand why this
But
related.
this guy named Nevin would play this song called "Home Is Where You're Happy" every
Nevin?
day.
His name was
His
Nevin?
name was Nevin, and he owned a farm.
Like
and
Kevin with an N.
Or Devin, maybe.
Yeah, like Devin
Nevin.
with an N. And
Okay.
he would play this song, "Home Is Where You're Happy," and I fucking loved it. And I heard it like maybe 20 times before I asked, "Hey
This
man,
is horrible.
who is this?" And he was like, "This is Charlie Manson." I'm like,
Nevin
So
sounds like
you're
a guy.
using-
You're even calling him Charlie Manson like you guys are familiars or something, like you know him well.
Well, after this,
Yeah.
I
Jeffrey
was
Dahmer heard the same song and was like, "Oh, I have an idea now."
after
Yeah,
this, Nevin
great.
convinced me that
Jeffrey
Charlie
Dahmer.
Manson did nothing wrong, and I was like, man,
Nevin sounds.
I
like
never
a-
thought about it that way.
I
just stay
never
away from
thought
him.
about that.
Great.
So he tried to be a musician. He tried actually pretty hard.
Oh, he
apparently.
was a musician.
He was a musician, but the Beatles. I mean, they took his Helter Skelter thing and made it a piece. But
Dude, Charlie Manson used to hang out with the Beach Boys.
yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was really good friends with a
he
lot of
was
them. Were all
a
friends.
Socialite.
Hey,
I
I want to take an opportunity to say the word podcast again. If anybody likes
And that
podcasts,
we don't like
Jazz
Charlie
bass.
Manson's
which
music.
is what we're doing right
not
now. We're
about
doing
that.
a podcast. If you guys like podcasts
Or jazz bass.
I like
then you
Charlie
should
Manson's
check
music.
out what's the Disturbed Disturb. You know what it is?
Oh, wow.
We were just talking about this.
What
We were
Disturbed?
just, no, the podcast with about all the stories about musicians.
Sound
Like
opinions.
the debauchery.
No,
thing?
the one that's
Disgraceland.
Disgraceland,
Yeah.
Disgraceland, not Disturbed Land. That would probably put you in a way different portion of the internet. But Disgraceland podcast, a great podcast for anybody that may or may not be listening to this, which is probably I have less fingers than that. I
My
would assume.
father.
Your father.
Hello, father.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh, cool. Wow.
My
Thank
dad.
you.
Sorry, that was a.
Thanks, Jamie.
I think that was a tough subject.
That's a Joe Rogan
but-
joke. It's a podcast Joe Rogan joke.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro Gogan.
Yeah, bro. Go.
Bro
Okay,
Gogan.
cool. All right. Well, did we?
Another
so
question,
We're
Will?
gonna move on, but sorry, that was a tough question. But we have.
I haven't listened to his.
We
music
haven't
before.
introduced our main star of the night, and it is Chuck Panson. He's from the. He's
Chuck Panson.
This is Chuck Panson.
Like Pantzen.
Like Panson.
Is it German? Is that German origin?
I don't know. Ask him. But
Mars?
He's come to be a part of our podcast. He really likes Charlie Manson's music. I don't particularly like it, but he is a member of the gang and he likes it. So
Looks like he's from a different solar system, different dimension. Am I?
Well, I mean, he was like this Charlie Manson.
Don't be
guy.
racist, okay?
Hey, man, I'm just stating the
You
obvious.
can
Hey,
be
hey.
green and terrestrial at the same
Hey,
time.
Chuck Panson, what country? What? Sorry, excuse me. Oh, what planet are you from? I'm from the planet of Mansion.
Oh, Mansion?
Mansion
Yeah.
planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
exciting.
Dude, they have
So,
some
but-
sick
This
psychops.
podcast is really going off the rails.
So Charlie Manson.
Have I said podcast enough times?
So Charlie,
I'm gonna keep trying.
We're just gonna lay it down. Charlie Manson, he's a famous serial killer, but he also created a planet, and it's called
yes.
the Manson Planet. And we do not give enough credit for this. So we have brought Chuck Panson to the podcast.
Just to
And he is from.
Is
the
he here to
Manson
set the
Band.
record straight or something?
on
No,
the
well,
Charles
he-
Manson Mansion.
Well, he just wants to see what bands are really into.
Okay. At this point, we're just saying words that sound funny together. So let's start. Let's do the next topic.
Okay,
Next topic.
Next topic. Sorry, Chuck.
No offense, Chuck. You're fine.
We
But
have so the Dixie Chicks.
oh,
They want to change their name.
they already have changed their name.
Well, this was old, so I mean, like, I'm looking back in the days.
Yeah, this is a
They've
retrospective.
already
I
changed
didn't
their
know
name.
this. What did the Dixie Chick change her name to?
They changed their name to
I don't know.
The Chicks.
the Chicks.
The Chicks.
The
Hey,
Chicks.
Kellen, can you look up what the Dixie Chick changed their name?
Can
to?
you put a picture of the Dixie Chicks behind
you
us?
can't beat the Dixie Chicks. That name is fucking awesome.
I think there was some racism
Chicks?
involved in the name, though.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, like
I don't know, I don't
Dixie.
know.
The whole term Dixie is just racist.
Can you lay that out? Do you know anything about that? Does anybody know enough about this? I mean, we should.
I mean, there was
So
it was-
Dixie was the song "Singing Dixie," right? Like that's like a
Whistle
song.
Dixie, yeah.
Win
Yeah.
Dixie.
And it's got racist undertones. It's basically like a slave state song.
It just sounds
Um,
racist. Like,
Very, very much tied into the Confederacy and stuff.
Yeah.
And
The
the
Dixie
Dixie
line.
Chicks, I mean, they were awesome, and
Mason-Dixon.
they're still
Mason
awesome.
Dixon,
Their new
yeah.
album is actually fucking awesome.
So you guys dig the Dixie Chicks?
No, I dig the Chicks.
Well, that's what they're called, the Chicks.
They're called the
that
Chicks
were
now.
in
And
Dixie
as much as that makes me think of like microwave, like you remember those little things that you put in the microwave, Peeps? It makes me think
Yeah.
of Peeps for some reason. I don't know why,
Like those little.
but I think of
toys.
Peeps, and I want to microwave them. I don't want to microwave
wanna
the Chicks.
microwave the Chicks?
No, I don't want to microwave the Chicks.
Okay.
That's what it makes me think of is microwaving Peeps for some reason because it's
But
such a succinct name, such a short, and
Okay.
succinct band name.
Weren't the Dixie
The
Chicks
Chicks.
like they got too political and got
they were against the Iraq War.
Yeah, and they got pushed out of the scene.
Cool.
Right?
too cool.
No, but no, those guys. I remember like.
Well, the
you
Chicks
know,
are pretty
guys-
punk. The Chicks are punk as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have
But didn't
full
they
respect.
get famous off Fleetwood
Sin
Mac
Wagon,
song?
that's a good song. Sin Wagon.
Their best
The
song
Dixie
is the
Chicks.
Fleetwood Mac song, though, right?
Oh, it's a great Fleetwood Mac song though.
Yeah.
Landslide
That's not their best song, dude.
Yeah, but it's
the
a pretty
best song's
great
like
cover.
probably like Cowboy Take Me Away.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-boo.
So now that we're getting into some female
Cowboy,
country artists,
take
Female country
me
artists, oh,
away.
yeah. So let's
Reba
let's
McEntire
talk
back in the
about,
day was badass.
we got-
I watched a lot of the Reba show. I'm not
we
gonna lie
got,
to you. I watched the Reba show like religiously.
Tyrannosaurus Swift over here, who's a big fan. Let's talk about Taylor Swift. What are you guys in?
Let's not.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
not do
no,
that.
not Taylor Swift.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
Talking about like why the hell she won an album of the year. That's fucking stupid.
Who won
He
that?
said, yeah, she won album of the year. Yeah,
Who's this?
Taylor Swift won album of the year again.
Well, I didn't listen to it.
This
so I
is
can't
like her
comment.
third time winning album of the year.
But she writes her own music, which is cool. Right? She
Yeah,
writes her own
so
music?
Beyonce won what, Song of the Year this year, right?
I don't know.
Music video
No
of the
clue.
year. It was
I
one of
have
those
no
two.
idea.
And she, like, I mean, there have been like, I mean, I don't know what the number is. I don't want to put it on the podcast because I'm probably wrong. But the amount of times that black women have won in any of those categories, and the fact that Taylor Swift has won 3 album of the year awards, one white chick has won 3 album of the year awards. It's just ridiculous,
Is
man.
her like dad on the committee or something?
No, she's. I don't know what it is about Taylor Swift that gets white people going, but they just can't stop. You know, actually, I kind of do understand because I have one Taylor Swift song that I really love. Our song is the slamming screen door, sneaking out late, tapping on your
Cut the feed.
window.
Cut the feed.
Yeah,
Cut the feed.
talk real slow.
So we got
'Cause
this
it's
Taylor
late and
Swift
your mama
fan.
don't know. Our song is the way you laugh. First date, man, I didn't
Kiss her and I should have.
So you said you were not a Taylor Swift fan.
No, but that one song, that is an amazing
I kinda
song. It's
am,
very
not
well
gonna
written.
lie.
She probably didn't write it. I'm not going to go on the record.
I
with that,
haven't
but-
heard her new album, but her old stuff, it's like kind of singer-songwritery. You know, it feels
Cool,
like
I'm
it came
into
from the
that.
heart. Oh, I fucking
Some of the early
love
stuff was good.
love
Some of the early stuff was
singer-songwriter.
good, but now it's so overproduced, you know?
What's going on, tech team? Our tech team is having a quick.
I like that we've just got all kinds of errors and
Let's
problems.
introduce our tech team. We have
Yeah, let's introduce-
Kellen and we have John. And Kellen is our good friend. We've known him for a while. John, we just met you. Thank you guys for being here and helping us out with our very first podcast. You know, no one really thought that this was going to actually happen, but here we are. We have
Kellen's got some cool
Pants
pants.
Magoofin.
Yeah, at this point, I'm kind of hoping people don't watch it, to be honest.
Well, I think
Well, you know.
Kellen's got some cool pants. Though. Can you say the pants? Pretty cool.
I think we're just going to find our niche of people who want to talk about
Fucking Charles Manson.
No.
Charles
Oh,
Manson
well,
and
what do
female
we-
country artists and
So,
aliens.
We'll talk. That's the whole point.
And proctors.
We got to keep proctors.
We're updating the world on music news, man.
what's
I mean,
our
like,
last- what's our
how many
last piece
people
of
knew?
music?
that
We got
Dixie
some
Chicks
more
changed
to
their
come,
name?
a lot
boys.
of people knew that. you
So,
just didn't.
Well,
Have y'all ever heard of the artist Big Lurch? We're going in the hip hop space here. Sorry. He actually ate his girlfriend.
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty dark.
I'm glad. This
when
is,
was
this
this?
just
Not
keeps
like
getting better.
eating out, but like just eating.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no,
That was the
So-
first thing I
we
thought of.
understood that. I understood there was a difference.
Cannibalism.
When was
yeah,
this?
like good cannibalism, like real hard.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, some
Excellent.
good stuff. But
This just keeps getting better and better. We're doing a great job.
What possibly could you be asking us? The relevant.
I'm asking you is like
Trying to like.
I'm trying to
That's sorry. Go ahead.
I'm trying to like figure out like what's your gauge on an artist and how shitty they are in life. Like,
Well,
could you be into it?
Oh yeah, like separating an artist.
I mean, like eating your
separating the
girlfriend's
artist from
pretty
the art.
fucking extreme, and his rap's not that great.
This is such a controversial topic. Why are we just going for everything that's hard to talk about in front of people right now? Our intuitive response to being recorded is apparently to just start to air all of our really personal grievances.
That's the point.
I think it's really tough to separate people from their art. Sometimes I feel like you almost absolutely have to, because the whole tide of society is moving that direction, and you can't go against that, and you shouldn't probably, you know. But there are people like Eric Clapton who are pretty controversial because they're like he's basically like a modern day neo-Nazi now.
What?
He's basically like super far right.
Clapton?
He's a Brexiter.
What is a modern
he's
day
a Brexiter.
neo-Nazi? Isn't that just a neo-Nazi?
Yeah, that's just a neo-Nazi. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you for
exactly.
correcting
Are
that.
Brexiters
Just a neo-
neo-Nazis, though?
No,
there is an overlap. That's a really
Like,
controversial
not every
question.
Brexiter is a neo-Nazi, but every
Yeah.
neo-Nazi is
But,
a
you're
Brexiter.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Nick.
I think if you ask any Brit if they're a Nazi, they'll
Well,
say,
Eric
"Fuck
Clapton
no."
has been on. Eric Clapton has been on. He's been recorded at his show saying like immigrants need to get out of here. Like immigrants
Really?
need to go home. Yeah, there's a video of it. Just look it up. So like Eric Clapton has some great riffs and some great songs. He also wrote songs about having sex with 15-year-old girls. So maybe we should sometimes not separate the artist from the art from the art, because their art replicates who they are, right? And if there are examples of their art showing that they have done something fucked up, then maybe we should consider
I agree.
joining the
I
artist
agree.
with the art. You know,
agree.
but if it's not, if the art is just good on its own and people can appreciate that, and maybe somebody has gotten involved in some scandal or whatever, we shouldn't just cancel them for no reason, right? There should be plenty of information that goes around about this. But in my opinion, you know, artists should still be able to at least sell their art, because that's what they do for a living. You know, like, are we just going to cancel everybody?
Well, there's a huge spectrum of artists. You know, like there's artists that come in and they're pop artists and people write their lyrics for them. And there's artists who, you know, sit in their garage all day and paint. And, you know, art's become this, you know, entity that we think of. Art, you know, and what separates the individual from their practice is so, there's so many compounding factors. You know, is this person making their music independently? Is this person, you know, an artist that has people writing their lyrics, producing their beats?
Yeah, or like Justin
And-
Bieber and Taylor Swift, who have been given so many of the opportunities that they've gotten, just like kind of spoon-fed to them.
No, I mean, they were there.
The point I'm
before,
making,
but-
the point I'm making is, at the end of the day, we're all, you know, involved in this space of art, and there's a whole world there, and there's the art, and then there's the individual, but we're in it together, just like this fucking world we're living in, just like this life that we have. And all I'm saying is that like the art and that person is just the same as calling it like a person in a tree, you know, and everything seems separate. End of the day, though, it really is like how you manifest it, how you think about it, you know.
Yeah,
Really,
well, that's the thing. It's a very personal question. Can
Yeah.
you, the listener, the
Oh,
proverbial listener
Yeah.
right now,
two listeners
the
over there.
5 people who
Yeah.
are listening to us
thank you to listeners.
talk about nothing except weird
That
stuff
was also
that we think
15
about.
minutes ago. So.
The question is, can you deal with it?
Well, I think
Can you deal with it? Can you? Or I've got 3 cameras here to look at. What you? Four.
5.
Jesus, 5. Okay. Oh my God. So
all the
can
same
you
area.
deal with it? Can you deal? I want to get to like the zoom in thing
Yeah.
too. You. Can you deal with listening to Eric Clapton if he has said racist shit before? You know, can
What?
you deal with listening to any of these artists who have been canceled for probably stuff that they may or may not have done? Should you? It's up to you. You know, it's a moral decision that everybody has to make. That's really fucking hard. But when society makes a big decision, it starts to get very confusing. And like, should I go with that? Should I rebel against that? You know, it's a tough call.
So the hard question is, can we recognize artists as douchebags? Because as artists, you know, we have separated ourselves. So whatever is the athlete, blah blah blah, the douchebags. We separated ourselves from that environment because we viewed that we were not that. But we have to realize: are there artists that can artists be douchebags? Can,
yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
yes. I think, and that's it's like
There's a couple on this
But there's a
panel.
line,
I would
right?
say
There's a
most.
line. But there's a line,
Yeah,
right?
there is
When
a
somebody
line.
crosses that line,
Like cannibalism.
That's a
yeah, I
pretty,
think
Well
that's
past the line.
that's a hard line. Yeah,
But I also don't like it when there are record companies and producers and other artists who work with these artists who know this stuff about them, who don't ever make that the line until society makes it the line.
I think money is the real
Exactly, because it's all about money. So a record label will drop somebody. I mean, they just dropped Marilyn Manson, right?
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson just got
Douchebag.
after he made them like millions and millions.
Marilyn Manson just got dropped by his label. We all knew Marilyn Manson was fucking crazy, but there's also now a whole bunch of stories about really fucked up shit that he's done. And the label didn't give a shit about that because they were literally selling his image. They were literally selling this fucked up thing. And they made a bunch of money off of it. And suddenly when it stopped looking like, oh, we might be able to still make money off this guy, nope, we dropped him from the label. That's just so hypocritical. These power structures in music are so fucked
they're
up.
everywhere, man. They're like everywhere. Like
So fucked up.
Every industry, whether it's like, you know, public or private, capital,
Just rampant
or-
corruption. We just live in an
Yeah.
age of just rampant corruption
But I
in
think
every system that we
But I
have.
think it's where we live too. You know,
What
the
about
United
hand
States,
sanitizer? Is there corruption in hand sanitizer?
There's corruption in hand sanitizers because have you noticed how bad they smell lately?
Yeah.
There's been some
and
serious
when they smell
corruption.
good,
There's
they
been
just
some
don't
They
work.
stopped using the good
They don't-
botanicals
Yeah,
to
they
get
don't
Corners
work.
are being
Yeah.
cut. Corners are
Yeah.
being
For
cut.
real.
Okay,
And I
let's
don't
I
let,
don't even trust those restaurant hand sanitizers
yeah,
anymore.
let's switch
you
the
know?
topic.
All right, Proctor.
Sorry, I came
Do you have
in
any
a
more
little hot.
questions?
Yeah, well, no, I wanted to leave it to y'all, or me, or whatever. But let's talk about Elvis Batchild. What's going on? I'm in the band as well, so it's kind of stupid that I'm proctoring when I'm
Well,
in the
last
band.
podcast you kept saying they as if you were not in
So
the
now
band.
I'm in the
It's
band.
official.
But I figure
Yeah.
like as the most recent member, I think
official for like 6 months.
No, we
but-
yeah.
We had a ceremony, and
Yeah,
we
a
all
ceremony.
got together. We shared our blood, actually, and then we
Yeah.
sang all of our songs around a campfire.
Yeah, it was-
word for word. Actually, we played our parts with our mouth, and
a lot of mouth organ going on.
yeah.
mouth organ, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
So
the
let's talk about what's going on, what's the next vision, what's the next for the album. Y'all
Oh
know.
yeah, there is.
I'm just a drummer, so I just play along.
So
to them,
this podcast does have an orientation. We are a band. We play music, and we do have some stuff happening. You know, one of the reasons this podcast is happening is
Oh, I
because
love how much you're saying podcast right now.
fuck,
It's really
dude.
working out.
Gosh, well, well, that's actually a good thing because you know the more you can manifest that word, the more this becomes an actual podcast. Because
Yeah, a
you know,
podcast,
really,
yeah.
all that we are right now is just like
A podcast.
a band with mics and our homies drinking beer. You know, we would have this fucking conversation on the fucking couch if we didn't have mics in front of us. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, we do this too much actually. Like we talk
Yeah.
way too much. When we were in the studio last time for our EP, and I think I mentioned this in the. I hope I didn't mention this in the last podcast, but it gives me an opportunity to say podcast again. So I think I'm going to mention it now in this one. We got to the point after the first couple days where we were in there and we were hanging out, and Christian, our engineer, he's an amazing engineer, Christian Escobar. Shout out to Christian Escobar. He's probably the best engineer on the planet. We got to the point where he was trying to listen to the mixes we'd made, and we were all talking. And he turns to us, he just turns around in his swivel chair, and he just kind of, this Christian has this way of being super judgy without being mean, and it makes you want to shut the fuck up. And he turns to us and he goes, do you guys do you guys always talk this much? And we all are like immediately like, yeah, we do. Yeah, this is us. Yeah, we talk too much. And
it was during a time where I thought we were being relatively low key. You know, he was like,
We
I was
always
like,
think
oh,
that.
we were just tuning up, man. Like,
yeah.
sorry, but yeah, one of the things with that recording session though is it was our first time as a band in a recording studio, but it was also just like it felt like a.
It was our second time. Well, it was our first time as a whole band. We had
was
two
our second-
That was
two
my
members
first time.
Was it
previously.
That was your first. Damn,
First
was that
time
your
in a
first
recording,
time?
yeah.
Like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah, in a recording studio.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dude, yeah, the first time I walked into a recording studio it was Orbit Audio. Joe
Oh, don't get this wrong.
Reinecke.
Joe Reinecke.
And
Not Joe Rogan.
it was not Joe Rogan studio.
Joe Reinecke is a badass. We met him briefly, and he was super nice to us. And they have a very awesome studio in Pioneer Square.
It was a student program that if anyone is watching this is thinking about being an audio engineer, look at the places around Seattle. Robert Lang has one.
Robert Lang.
Orbit Audio has one. And they're doing some cool shit. Like, you know, you don't get that, you know, studio sound, especially for bands. You know, it's different within genres. But if you're playing a full band, having that live studio and all the equipment they have is special shit.
Yeah,
You know?
Look, there's a lot of industries that are dying right now. There's a lot of trades that are going by the wayside because of AI and stuff. This is going to be,
just the pandemic.
especially with the pandemic too. It's really speeding up. Do something that is, and when you think about what is sustainable, music and art are always going to be sustainable. They're always going to be something that people need and want. What have people done more during this pandemic than anything else? They've consumed art or created art. You go and you listen to music while you're driving around because you feel fucking lonely. You're listening to art. So if you want to get into art, consider and you like audio, and you may not be an artist or a singer, go consider becoming an audio engineer. Because if you like ones and zeros, if you like computers, you like electrical engineering, if you like any of that stuff, then music engineering is a place for you. And there's places popping up all over the place right now, including Orbit Audio down in Pioneer Square with Joe Reinecke. Mm-hmm. They have a Pro Tools accredited program. And same with Robert Lang, which is where we're going to be recording in a month or two here.
Have we booked that yet?
They've got it. We haven't. They've got a Pro Tools accredited program. And so if you go through one of those programs, you'll be able to record anywhere in the country if you want. So it's a good area to go into.
Yeah, I mean,
people are always going to need music.
4 beers later.
Welcome to 49 and a half minutes. We are having a conversation with Elvis.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you got the 49 minutes from.
60 minutes. 60 minutes, but
It'd be
it's
like
49.
59 and a half minutes.
No, but it's 49 and a half. But we're with this band, and I'm in the band, but we don't up. We're having a conversation about a missing member.
Oh, you mean
missing member?
Nick?
Oh no,
Yes.
a missing member.
Dude.
So I just
would
want to
be a
ask
tragedy
you.
if you
I
woke
just
up with a
want to
missing
ask
member.
y'all, where is Nick?
I think I know, guys. So he hasn't been responding to our texts, and like he didn't want to come do this episode 2 of the podcast. I think he's like
Having second thoughts.
It's been a long time since our first episode, so I understand. We've gotten a lot of negative feedback from our first episode.
Yeah, and also like with the whole like podcasting situation, like you put yourself so in the ether of everything that he might have gotten caught in that.
Oh yeah,
Is he
turned
in the
into
ether?
He turned into ones and zeros. He's a
Is-
digital human being now.
Is he in the ether?
But that's what I'm questioning. You know, he might not be here, but like he might actually though.
Okay, so Brad, I've heard that you are blood related to the one that is missing. Do you know where he is?
Still doesn't mean I know where he's at.
I mean,
You don't
but,
have like a GPS that's built into your genes or something where you know.
I mean, I could
Not like your
I might be able
genes,
to
but,
point
like-
you in a direction, but
Could
Dude,
you?
what if-
directions would you put it?
towards
Okay.
Wallingford, I don't think.
Dude, what if? So we don't really know where Nick is, but like that's what it is, right? But what if we can take that problem and manifest it into a product? I
see.
don't know
Sell it
where
to
my
people.
bandmate is, and that's the name of the product. I don't know where my bandmate is. and now you do.
And then people pay us to find our bandmates.
Yeah, we're secret operative. No, what's that word for
Is
the dude?
it like dude, I lost my car. What was that?
Dude, where's my car?
Dude, where's my car?
Ashton Kutcher?
Sean William Scott,
Yeah.
Fucking great
Who
actor.
is Sean William Scott?
the other guy in Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah, he's the other guy in Dude, Where's My Car? Yeah.
So are you got this band is like a dude, where's my car situation.
No, the application that we are going to invent is going to be, dude, where's my bandmate? But instead of,
Oh, it's a platform. It's a whole platform.
yeah, but we are
Yeah.
PIs. We're private investigators.
Well, this probably happens a lot, like bands on tour and stuff who are like partying after their show,
Yeah.
And then one of their bandmates goes off with like the hottest chick at the show, and they disappear.
Gotta go, Buffalo Wild Wings.
And then you crowdfund how
Buffalo
to find
Wild
them.
Wings
You
is here.
say, dude, where's my bandmate? And somebody will win a cash prize if they find the bandmate. Mm-hmm. But the cash prize has to be crowdfunded because we don't have
paying
enough
the
money
cash
to
prize.
pay that.
We actually have no cash.
Yeah, we've spent all of our cash
We
on this.
are negative.
Actually, all of the cash we have has been spent on this podcast right now.
Yeah.
And that's why you're seeing behind us. What are we seeing behind us, Kellen?
Kellen, what's behind us?
A galaxy
A
still?
galaxy.
Oh, it's the same galaxy. Are you going to put the peeps behind us? I know, I talked about the chicks and I said it reminded me. But the chicks, I mean, it just reminds me of putting peeps in the microwave. And so if that's, I hope right now there are peeps exploding behind me, but I don't know because this is just actually blue
You
paper.
guys got this. I'm going to go let Will in because he's outside.
Oh, wow. It's just me and Brad. Okay, Brad.
This is not good.
How does it feel looking like Ozzy Osbourne? Do you like that, or is it something that you don't like? Give me your honest opinion. Because you look like Ozzy Osbourne. And for all of our viewers, I think
three
they'll
of them?
agree. Yeah, all three of them. Yeah. It's like my
I don't know.
dad.
I think it's kind of
and-
concerning because I don't think Ozzy's been called, a classically handsome man. I don't know if anybody's.
Oh, I think he's pretty good looking, He has drapes around his face most of the time, so it's
I
kind of
guess
hard
what
to tell.
year Ozzy we talking?
Early Ozzy was pretty hot. Early Ozzy, right, Will?
So
Will's
I
coming in.
had to get some wings.
Do you think early Ozzy was pretty hot?
Dude, he was hot.
Early Ozzy was pretty hot, but what about late Ozzy? With I feel like it's almost something about being with Sharon has almost made him, because Sharon is almost cooler than Ozzy in a lot of ways. I feel like Sharon has a lot
She
more
has
of
command.
she has a command over Ozzy.
Presence.
I
I
think
feel like Ozzy likes the.
She's
in the
pretty
bedroom,
with the
you know?
flow of things, like
Yeah.
the big secret of most things is accepting the moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's pretty with, and so is Ozzy in his own weird way. Like
Ozzy, yeah,
Dude,
Ozzy's very,
we-
he's very
but-
accepting of the moment.
But that's
yeah.
one of the things. Is like there's no real answer to how to give into it.
Do you have an Ozzy
I think
impression?
Old hot and new
Come
hot.
on, give
are
us
the
an
same.
attempt, or not, even if it's horrible. Just try, just try.
Because he kind of mumbles.
He
right?
does fucking mumble. He's very. Yeah.
It's like like an apple in the night, Just kind of mumbling about.
An apple in the night? What does that even
mumbling
mean?
about?
Can I do my Ozzy impression?
Yeah, do it.
Sharon.
All right, this is my
Sharon.
Ozzy impression. I'm going through changes.
At Sasquatch.
So the one thing about that song is he lived it.
He used to change his outfit 3 or 4 times throughout the course of his show. I saw him at 3 different shows. I saw him at Seattle Center. I saw him at, I think, Sasquatch twice.
Yeah.
And he's the screaming eagle of soul, man. You should see the outfits this guy's got. Charles Bradley.
I'm
You should
sorry.
see the outfits this guy had. He was switching between like a white blazer with like a beautiful undershirt. And he'd switch like halfway through the show. 'cause
But he
was
was
very
switching
sweaty.
because he was probably sweating hella.
He was sweating hell.
Yeah.
And I know that because he came out after every show that he did. He went out into the crowd. He literally jumped over the stage. This guy was like in his 50s or 60s. Jumps out into the stage and gets into the crowd and he hugs everybody. I've hugged this man 3 times in my life. And what a legend.
You've hugged Charlie.
I hugged Charles Bradley 3 times. 3 times.